3 square feet is enough to turn one grocery store turmeric rhizome into a whole clump. But the harvest is decided months before you dig by the piece you buy, how you sprout it, and how you water it. Hi, I'm May. Today I'll take you from the produce aisle to the underground harvest without wasting your growing season. Your first job happens in the shop. Look for fresh turmeric sold as whole rhizomes, not dried powder. Choose pieces that feel firm, plump, and heavy for their size. Avoid anything shriveled, soft, moldy, or marked by dark, wet spots. Then look closely at the surface. You want small bumps or pointed buds? These are the growing eyes that can produce new shoots. A large rhizome with no healthy-looking eyes is less useful than a smaller piece with several obvious buds. Grocery turmeric can grow, but it is not guaranteed to sprout. Some rhizomes may be old, damaged, or treated to delay growth during storage. If you have access to disease-free planting rhizomes from a reputable nursery, those are more reliable. But if grocery turmeric is what you can find, buy several healthy pieces instead of trusting your entire season to one. When you get home, rinse away any dirt and inspect the rhizomes again. If you suspect they may have been treated to delay sprouting, soak them in clean, room temperature water for about 24 hours. Then remove them and let the surface dry. Now decide whether to plant each rhizome whole or divide it. A small, healthy piece can stay whole. A large piece can be cut into sections roughly 1.5 to 2 inches long with at least one healthy eye on each section. 2 eyes give you a little more insurance. Use a clean knife. Do not make lots of tiny pieces simply to create more plants. Every section needs stored energy to produce roots and a shoot. A very small piece dries out or rots more easily and may take longer to establish. After cutting, leave the sections in a clean, airy place for a few days. The cut surfaces should become dry and slightly sealed before they go into damp potting mix. Planting a freshly cut, wet surface immediately can increase the chance of rot. And now we come to the step that matters most in a short growing season. Pre-sprouting. Turmeric is tropical and slow. It can take 4 to 8 weeks to show a shoot, and the full crop commonly needs around 7 to 10 warm months. If you bury a dormant grocery rhizome outdoors after the weather becomes warm, you may lose a large part of your growing season while it is still waking up. Instead, begin indoors about 6 to 8 weeks before you expect reliably warm outdoor conditions. Place the rhizome in a shallow pot or tray of fresh potting mix with the eyes pointing upward. Cover it with about 1 to 2 inches of mix. Water lightly, let the excess drain, and keep it somewhere warm. A temperature around 72 to 80 degrees Fahrenheit or roughly 22 to 27 degrees Celsius is useful for sprout initiation. Light is not important before a shoot appears, but warmth is. Do not place the pot on a cold floor or beside a drafty window and expect fast growth. And do not compensate for low temperature by adding more water. Until the rhizome has roots and leaves, it uses very little moisture. Keep the mix just lightly damp. If it stays cold and saturated, the rhizome can rot before you see a single shoot. This waiting period tests your patience. You may see nothing for several weeks. That does not automatically mean the rhizome has failed. Check without repeatedly digging it up. A healthy piece should remain firm. A piece that becomes soft, hollow, slimy, or foul-smelling should be discarded so it does not contaminate the others. Once a pointed shoot breaks through the surface, move the pot into bright light. The shoot may begin pale, but healthy new growth should become green as the leaves open. That is your first major success signal. The rhizome is awake, and the growing season has truly started. While it is sprouting, prepare the 3 square foot growing space. This could be a bed measuring 1 foot by 3 feet. It could be one wide container occupying a similar footprint. Or it could be a large grow bag placed on a patio. For a container crop, width is more important than unnecessary depth because turmeric rhizomes expand outward beneath the surface. A sturdy container holding approximately 15 to 20 gallons is a practical choice for 2 or 3 healthy planting pieces. It should be at least 12 inches deep and roughly 18 to 24 inches wide. Do not crowd 10 pieces into one pot because the leaves look small when you plant them. A mature turmeric clump can reach 3 to 4 feet tall, and the rhizomes need room to branch. Overcrowding creates competition, slows drying after watering, and makes it harder to inspect the plants. The container must have several open drainage holes. Turmeric likes consistent moisture, but a pot that holds stagnant water can destroy the entire underground crop. Fill it with a loose, fertile potting mix. A good mix should hold some moisture while allowing excess water to escape. You can add finished compost for organic matter, but do not fill a container with dense garden soil or unfinished compost. Heavy soil compacts around the rhizomes and drains poorly. Unfinished material can continue decomposing, tie up nutrients, or heat the root zone. If you're planting in a bed, loosen the soil and incorporate finished compost. Turmeric prefers fertile, well-drained soil that is neutral to slightly acidic. If you regularly struggle with poor crops, a soil test is more useful than guessing which nutrient is missing. Now choose the position carefully. Turmeric likes warmth, humidity, and bright, lightly shaded conditions. Morning sun followed by some afternoon shade is a strong starting point, especially in very hot climates. In a cooler region, it may tolerate more direct sun, but the plant still needs gradual exposure. Do not move an indoor-grown shoot directly into intense midday sun. The tender leaves can scorch even though turmeric is a tropical plant. Wait until daytime temperatures are consistently warm and nights remain above about 50 degrees Fahrenheit or 10 degrees Celsius. Ideally, the normal growing temperature should be closer to 68 degrees Fahrenheit or 20 degrees Celsius and above. Harden the sprouted plants off gradually. Give them a short period outside in a sheltered position on the first day. Increase the time, light, and wind exposure over approximately 1 to 2 weeks. When the plants are ready, place 2 or 3 sprouted rhizomes across your 3 square foot space. Keep the shoots upright and cover the rhizomes with about 1 to 2 inches of soil or potting mix. Do not bury the young shoots. Water the entire area thoroughly once and let the excess drain. For the next month, your goal is establishment, not instant size. New leaves should continue opening and additional shoots may rise from the same rhizome. Each shoot is connected to the developing underground clump. Check the soil with your finger before watering. When the upper inch starts to feel dry, water deeply enough to moisten the root zone. Then allow excess water to escape. The mistake to avoid is switching between two extremes, leaving the pot bone dry until the leaves collapse, then flooding it for several days. Turmeric grows best with steady moisture. Mulch can help in warm weather. Add a light layer of clean organic mulch to reduce evaporation and temperature swings, but keep it away from the bases of the shoots. Thick, wet mulch pressed against tender stems can encourage decay and give slugs a hiding place. Container-grown turmeric needs regular nutrition because every watering carries some nutrients out through the drainage holes. Begin with compost or a balanced, slow-release fertilizer according to its label. During active growth, a balanced feed applied at the recommended rate every 6 to 8 weeks can support the leaves and developing rhizomes. More fertilizer does not automatically mean more turmeric. Excess feeding can burn roots or encourage lush foliage without improving the underground harvest. The correct amount depends on the product, the potting mix, and your water. Follow the label rather than copying a handful used in somebody else's garden. By early or midsummer, the little sprouts should be turning into a dense clump of tall leaves. This is the stage when many growers become impatient and start digging beside the stems to see whether turmeric is forming. Try not to disturb it. The new rhizomes are developing underground, and accidental cuts create entry points for rot. Let the leaves do their work. They are collecting the energy that will be stored below the soil later in the season. Instead of digging, use the foliage as your health report. Healthy leaves should be upright and green. Some temporary folding or drooping during the hottest part of the day can happen, but a plant that remains wilted needs attention. Check the soil first. Dry soil calls for water. Wet soil combined with yellowing or collapsing growth may point to poor drainage or damaged roots. Do not assume every yellow leaf means the plant needs fertilizer. Look under the foliage as well. Slugs and snails can damage young leaves. Spider mites may become a problem in hot, dry indoor conditions, leaving pale stippling and sometimes fine webbing. Start with the simplest controls. Remove hiding places, improve airflow, wash off minor mite infestations where practical, and avoid stressing the plant through drought. If you need a treatment, identify the pest and use only a product labeled for edible turmeric or edible rhizome crops in your location. The underground warning is more serious. If a shoot yellows suddenly, pulls away easily, and feels soft at its base, inspect for rot, remove badly affected material, and correct the drainage. Continuing to water a rotting plant will not revive it. Here is another useful expectation. Your turmeric may not flower. Flowers are attractive, but they are not the harvest signal. A healthy plant can produce a useful rhizome crop without flowering, so do not judge your success by whether a bloom appears. Judge it by time, healthy foliage, and the plant's natural move toward dormancy. As summer moves toward autumn and the days become shorter, more of the plant's growth is directed into the rhizomes. This late period is valuable. Keep the plant healthy for as long as your climate allows. In a warm climate without frost, turmeric can remain in the ground longer and develop more mature rhizomes. In a cold climate, protect the plant from low temperatures and plan to harvest before a freeze. If your outdoor season is short, you have two options. You can move a manageable container into a warm, bright, protected space before nights become cold, or you can harvest a younger crop before frost. That younger crop is often called baby turmeric. It has thinner skin and may be more tender than fully mature supermarket turmeric. It is still useful, but it will not have the same shelf-stable qualities as a mature, thick-skinned rhizome. Refrigerate it promptly or process and freeze it rather than leaving it on a countertop for months. This distinction protects the credibility of the entire harvest promise. A 7-month plant and a 10-month plant may both give you turmeric, but they may not give you identical maturity, storage life, or yield. So when is it finally time to dig? The clearest signal is the foliage. After roughly 7 to 10 months, the leaves begin yellowing, wilting, and drying as the plant enters dormancy. In a warm climate, you can wait until the foliage has largely died back. In a cold climate, harvest before a damaging freeze, even if some leaves remain. Once the plant is naturally declining, reduce watering. If conditions allow, stop irrigation about 1 to 2 weeks before harvest, so the potting mix becomes easier to handle. Do not manufacture dormancy by withholding water from a green plant in the middle of active growth. Now prepare for the most satisfying part. Turmeric stains skin, clothes, worktops, and tools a strong yellow-orange, so wear gloves and protect any surface you care about. For a container, spread out a tarp and gently tip the pot onto its side. Ease out the root ball instead of pulling hard on the dry stems. Break the mix apart with your fingers and follow the network of rhizomes through the soil. In a bed, insert a garden fork well outside the base of the clump. Loosen the soil from several sides before lifting. Pushing the fork straight through the center can pierce the harvest you spent most of the year growing. The original grocery piece may look darker or partly exhausted. Around it, you should find fresh fingers and branches of turmeric, ranging from pale yellow-orange to deep orange depending on the variety. Do not compare your harvest blindly with a dramatic online pile. Yield changes with the starting material, variety, number of warm months, container size, temperature, nutrition, water, and disease pressure. 3 square feet gives turmeric useful growing space. It does not guarantee a fixed number of pounds. A successful first harvest is healthy, firm new rhizome growth that is clearly larger than what you planted. That gives you fresh turmeric to use and better planting material for the next season. Separate the rhizomes gently, trim away the dead stems and fine roots, then remove the loose soil. Rinse the harvest under clean running water and use a soft brush to clean between the fingers. Do not store damaged, soft, or diseased pieces with the healthy ones. Let the clean rhizomes dry on the surface before storage. Keep some in the refrigerator for near-term cooking. For longer storage, turmeric can be frozen whole or in convenient portions and grated as needed. Fresh turmeric works in curries, soups, rice dishes, pickles, teas, sauces, and many other recipes. The leaves can also be used as aromatic wrappers in cooking where that is traditional and appropriate. Be cautious with health claims. Turmeric has a long culinary history, but growing it at home does not turn it into a treatment for a medical condition. This channel is teaching you how to grow and use a crop, not replace professional medical advice. Before you use the entire harvest, choose your planting pieces for next season. Select several firm, healthy sections with obvious eyes. Do not save pieces from a clump showing rot or serious disease. Label them, keep them dry enough to avoid mold, and protect them from freezing. That changes the next growing season completely. Instead of searching the grocery shelves again and hoping the rhizomes will sprout, you begin with material that has already proved it can grow in your conditions. The full method fits into 5 decisions. First, buy firm grocery turmeric with healthy eyes and reject anything soft or moldy. Second, divide only large rhizomes, allow the cuts to dry, and pre-sprout them somewhere warm before your outdoor season begins. Third, give 2 or 3 pieces approximately 3 square feet of loose, fertile, well-drained growing space. Fourth, maintain warmth and steady moisture without leaving the rhizomes waterlogged. Feed moderately and let the leaves remain healthy for as long as possible. And fifth, wait for the foliage to decline naturally, then loosen the entire clump and reveal what has been growing underground. The hardest part is not planting the turmeric. It is respecting the time it needs. Start with a good rhizome, wake it up early, and protect it from cold and rot. Then those 3 square feet can quietly turn a small piece from the produce aisle into an entirely new harvest. If you grow turmeric, tell me in the comments whether you will use a container, a grow bag, or a small garden bed. And subscribe, because next time we'll grow another crop with an even stranger secret. Its flowers bury themselves before the harvest forms underground.